Here tonight to reconvene and call to order this meeting for the public hearing continuation of comprehensive permit application pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40B, 5, 6, and 7, 5, 6, and 8, Care Drive, applicant Berkshire Design Group on behalf of Rural Development, Inc. And I would ask everyone to speak up when they talk so that people in the back can hear and people watching this on video later can hear. We had some questions about it previously, so I'm sure everybody has got a good, strong voice. And I would like for, if you have a moment, Holly Fitzpatrick, to just relay what we have here, this 1, 2, 3 thing.
So what we have at this point, and I don't know exactly what packets people have, but there was originally a packet that was put together that had the meeting agenda and the first draft of the decision on application, comprehensive permit application, that was put together by Paul Haverty, who is the board's consultant on the application. So we're going to call that number 1. Then that went to Felicity, who represents RDI, represents the applicant, and then Felicity has responded to Paul. And if any of you have a full packet, Felicity's are the one that on the first page shows some changes in green. That's how we can identify number 2.
2 more copies if anybody needs it.
And then then that came back from Felicity to Paul, who went through and anything that he agreed with and thought was the correct corrections have been accepted through using, modern technology there. And there are still some questions and comments over in the margins. They look like this for anybody who hasn't seen that. And thank you everyone for being timely. We will, have to go through some of it and talk about it, but because we just got these tonight.
Okay, well, I guess at this point, unless there's some other order of business, I'd like the applicant to proceed, tell us what their point of view is on all of this stuff.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
My name is Felicity Hardy. I haven't addressed you before. I've been attending these hearings, and I guess this is my evening to do some presentation. I'm here with Gina Gavoni, who's the Executive Director of Rural Development. So I think we're really close on an actual draft comprehensive permit for the Care Drive project here in Erving. One question I had kind of at the outset was whether or not the hearing portion of the process needs to close first before the board takes up the process of finalizing the draft decision. And I just put that to the group and perhaps also to Mr. Haverty about whether or not, just procedurally, kind of what's the first step? Do we close the hearing first and then move to the consideration of the permit, or should we do the permit first and then get that finalized, and then the board can proceed further?
Okay, my first off-the-cuff inclination would be to leave the hearing open until we're ready to decide, but I defer to our consultant, see what he would say about that.
So, Mr. Chair, I would recommend that the board leave the hearing open so you can discuss the draft decision. That allows you to get feedback from the applicant, to get feedback from the public as it relates to the draft decision. If you close the public hearing, you're not allowed to take any more feedback. You can deliberate amongst yourselves, but you can't take any feedback from the applicant or the public. Okay. So my recommendation is to leave the hearing open. There's no requirement that you formally close the public hearing before you discuss the draft decision, so I don't think you should.
Oh, okay.
And then at the end of the process, when you're ready to decide, then you close the public hearing and immediately go to your vote.
Okay.
That's great. I've seen it done different ways with different
Okay.
boards, so that's why I asked the question.
Okay.
I think, rural development and the town are very close on this decision. My suggestion would be maybe to just go through Mr. Haverty's last draft, because he accepted most of the changes we requested, and maybe look for anything that appears to be still outstanding, and we can discuss it or figure out what would be the best way to proceed.
Okay. My thought is, if we do that, then you and Mr. Haverty will be on the same page, agreeing or not, or if there's any further questions. And at the same time, I know Holly has some questions, some little sticky notes there, and perhaps her questions will be answered, and if not, we'll go with those questions.
That sounds great.
Okay?
I do one thing before we start. This ends, it says page 13 of 24, and I only have 13 pages.
Oh, my copy has 24 pages.
Mine does not.
You're talking about which draft?
Number 3.
Let me- Sure, I've got the right version of that.
Number 2 has plenty.
I am at 13.
Number 2 ends at 25, and yours ends at 13 as well?
Number 3 does, yes.
Yeah. So we end at E10. That could be,
There are 24 pages in the electronic version that I have, so it is all there.
okay. I assumed that someone would have noticed if it wasn't, but it didn't, looks like it didn't get printed.
Well, that's odd that it would only print the first 13 pages. Let me print it again
Run out of paper?
Maybe.
for 7 copies.
I don't know.
Would have
Is
had
it
6
printed
more.
on both double-sided?
No. Nope.
Why don't we proceed
Yep,
along?
I just pulled it back up and it's showing 24. I don't know why I did that. Let me print these off for you right now.
Okay.
Okay, so we can proceed along with the first 13 while the rest are being printed?
Yeah. All of a sudden I was like, what happened to the end of my sticky note places?
So why don't I go through my copy? And at least we can get through the first several pages,
Yeah.
and then,
Your copy of Paul's
Right.
responses. So number 3 we're going to look at.
okay.
Okay.
Those two in just a moment.
All right.
Thank you, Brian.
All right. Do you want me to take some notes while you're?
These notes while I'm in
Yeah.
the room? Thank you.
So, on page 4, under the factual findings, I have a comment from Paul. I really should be speaking to you as Mr. Haverty, sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
I have a
prefer Paul.
Okay, I have a comment from Paul about a change that we made to a defined term, okay? So early on in the agreement, in paragraph 2, I attempted to describe the units that will be age-restricted, so that the age-restricted units are those units where the head of household is 62 years or older, okay? And I defined that term as the 62-plus units.
Okay.
Okay? And so when I changed paragraph 12 on page 4 to take out age-restricted rental units, it was only because I had previously defined
Right.
it. It can stay in. It's fine. That's not going to be a problem. So I would say if Paul thinks it should be in there, then let's leave it in there.
So have it say, instead of 18 62-plus units, go back to 18 age-restricted.
Well, it would be 1862
Plus
plus
units,
Age-restricted
age-restricted
rental
rental units
Okay.
in a single structure. That's fine.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me take that note.
Okay? We'll just leave in Paul's original language and we can take out his copy.
In the age-restricted. Okay.
Okay. So, moving on. On page 7, finding A10, It says, where this decision provides for its submission of plans or other documents, the building inspector or applicable department head will use reasonable efforts to review and provide a written response within 30 days. And I've crossed out the 45 days and inserted 30 days. And this is something that comes up
Multiple.
multiple times.
So 30's correct?
Well, it's up to the board.
Okay.
The question is whether or not you believe that that is sufficient amount of time for the building department to actually review and respond. So generally, I have it as 45 days. It's not uncommon for an applicant to push back and see if they can reduce that time frame. And it's really just whether or not you believe your building department has the capacity to do that review in that time frame.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm thinking, without asking them, I don't know if they think 30 or 45 days.
So there is a provision in here that the applicant did not object to that states for submissions that require assistance from an outside consultant as determined by the building inspector or the applicable department head, the 30-day time period shall not begin until the consultant's fee has been fully funded by the applicant. So to the extent that there is a need for outside review, you would get the time necessary to get that funded and in contract with that outside consultant. So that's a little bit of a cushion for you if necessary.
Okay. Do we know that the building inspector or department head, if 30 days is enough from them in their mind? I don't know.
I don't either.
When Brian comes back in, I think we can discuss that a little
Okay.
bit with Brian here.
Okay.
That makes sense.
He would have, unless Glenn has any input.
I was gonna say, ask Brian, yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we just leave that sort of for now?
Yep.
And a new
And we can
sticky
come back to it, because there are several places where that happens.
Right, I saw that.
Okay. So, the next sort of change, where we're not kind of on exactly the same page, is on page 9 in the affordability section of section B2. So the applicant, this project assumes that all of the units are going to be affordable. And I had taken out the first 2 sentences of section B2 because they contemplate that perhaps some of the units would not be affordable. They might be market rate. So I was operating on the assumption that what RDI has proposed to the town and what the town understands that it's getting is all of the units being affordable. Paul left this language in really as an accommodation to us, I think. That's how I'm reading it.
So what I would say is I have run into this issue in the past where there was an application that was proposed by the applicant as fully affordable. I drafted a decision that took that into account, and the applicant actually appealed it to the Housing Appeals Committee and argued that that was an improper condition because the board can't impose affordability requirement that's in excess of the subsidizing agency standard of 25%. That being said, I'm happy to remove this language. The applicant, is arguing for it. I think that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I was pointing out to the board, technically speaking, you're not allowed to impose a greater affordability requirement on an applicant than what's required by the subsidizing agency.
I think Ms. Gavoni has a word.
I question that, and I also just question, if I understand what you're saying, that there's a threshold and that is what it is, but 2 units doesn't meet that threshold, so why 2?
It was 2 for the non-age restricted, 2 out of the 8. That was 25%.
Of the 8,
Why 2 of the 8?
but not the senior units.
There was 5 of the senior units.
Oh, okay, I see. So you're breaking out 25% of
Okay.
each.
Got it. Okay.
I see what you're saying.
But again, I'm happy to delete this entire thing. I just wanted to make sure I had this discussion with the board in terms of my prior experience with this issue. But if you as the applicant are saying that you're fine with this language and you're not going to appeal it because of that, then I'm happy to remove it.
I can't imagine that we would want to appeal this. I'm just quickly glancing back.
The
No.
other thing is that at the town meeting vote about this, it was assuming that it would be affordable as well. So there's already kind of a town meeting vote about it as
Right.
well.
Yeah, I think that the part of the impetus of this project is adding the first 26 units to the SHI. I also just want to note the typo and the abbreviation for subsidized housing inventory in the next line. We should just eliminate the L in that.
Sorry, fat fingers.
Don't worry.
So, remove it?
Remove it.
Yeah, let's remove that language. I mean, I truly appreciate the consideration. It never even dawned on me. And we understood
It
it was,
didn't dawn on me on that other case.
I bet.
I was absolutely shocked. but-
We have no intention of
Right.
repealing this on that basis.
So page 9BB2 should start with the part that's not
Right, the
greened out right
applicant
now.
has
This is the
proposed.
applicant.
Yep,
Yes.
yes.
And then in that, the abbreviation for subsidized housing inventory should be SHI.
Right. So we'll,
In
I
fact,
mean,
I don't see an L anywhere in any of those three words.
I don't know if any of us, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay,
Give us a second to look at it.
sure.
Because we didn't see these till now.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
We have version 1.
Okay, I'm not sure I fully understand. 2 units of the non-age restricted and 5 units of the age restricted.
So that would be the absolute minimum number of affordable housing units that would be required under a standard application.
Okay,
But they're saying, remove that language. We have proposed making all of the units affordable,
Okay.
and we're happy with that language. So we're just going to have language that requires them all to be affordable.
so
And
they're,
that's fine for you. That's,
so they're all affordable?
yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I at least understand it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
It was a little tricky.
Okay, is that okay with you, Dennis? Okay, okay.
Oh, good. Now we have all the pages. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
So now that Brian is back,
Oh.
maybe we could have a discussion about the 30 days versus 45 days for the building inspector.
So Brian, that is on page 7A10 and in other places.
It's also here on page 9.
Oh, it's on new page 9? Oh, it's also on page 9, yeah.
So the question is, would our building inspector and department head, is 30 days adequate time restriction for them? Paul pointed out if they need a consultant, we can have some additional time for that, but I don't know if 30 days is appropriate or adequate amount of time or not.
I think we can make that work. We can make 30 days work.
30 days.
As long as there's a caveat in there in the event that we need an outside consultant.
Yep.
I don't think there's a reason.
Okay.
Great.
Can I ask a question? So I do have a question about, that's all through it about where it says building inspector or town building inspector. Is that the correct language for us, being that we use the Franklin County Cooperative?
We do share that resource, but they are appointed by each town to be our building inspector.
Okay.
So they are our building inspector.
Okay, that's
Correct.
what, I just want to make sure that language is okay.
No, that's correct.
All right, so I can get rid of that sticky tick.
So A10 is acceptable to 30 days. Okay.
Thank you. So
And
the,
then that would be the same for C1 subsection B.
C1B.
yeah, B,
And see.
section C1, small letter B, and small letter C.
It's in twice in small letter B.
30, okay.
Any other questions on this section?
Well, unless, if that's all you have, let's see what
That's
Holly
all,
has.
that's all that I'm seeing
In
on that
C.
there.
Oh, yeah, that was, the sticky was about the building inspector.
Oh, okay. Okay. The next, sort of open question is in section E12. Paul is indicating that, we've got a sort of a wording question about stabilization of, sort of construction areas on the site. And he's suggesting that I think, that language should read, "No construction areas shall be left in an open, unstabilized condition." Is that right, Paul?
Yes.
That's fine, I think that's fine.
Oh, E13?
E12.
And page 14.
All right, let me get on the, now I have an extra one I don't know what to do with.
Would it be easier for me to use page numbers? Or I can use page
No,
numbers or section
I
numbers?
have
or-
E12 here. But E12, in this one, E12, it's, oh, the burning or, is it the one that starts with burning or burial?
No, it starts, that's E11. E12 starts with no, the word building is struck out.
So there was a number, this one, when I mentioned there was
Oh.
a numbering fix.
Yep,
For some reason, I went from like E8 to E10 or something like that, so I
Oh,
fixed, I fixed
okay.
that numbering. So it is now E12, but I think it was E11 for you, or E13, one or the other. But it's, no, what we're gonna have the condition state is no construction areas shall be left in an open, unstabilized condition longer than 60 days. And that's just to make sure that, if construction starts and for some reason they stop moving forward, that you're gonna stabilize any areas that have been disturbed.
Oh, none of mine have that. None of mine look like that. Unless this latest one, sorry.
The latest one.
Oh,
there you
hold
go.
on.
Yeah.
Sorry, just,
I'm sorry, that's on page 14.
all right. Okay, I'm good now. Sorry.
so Paul's
Okay.
suggestion on that is fine with us.
Okay, so change it just to soil.
Yep. Change it to construction. No
to
construction,
construction.
construction
Oh,
areas
construction.
shall be left in an open,
Okay.
unstabilized condition.
No construction. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Each is specific to soils. Right?
Well, the original language said no building areas shall be left open, okay? We changed that to no soil areas shall be left open. Paul's point is that there are other areas of the construction that might be unstable, and so he wants to make sure that, the construction areas that are unstable are stabilized.
And plus, I was concerned about what soil areas would be construed as. It could be considered to be just a pile of soil, and you've got to stabilize that, rather than disturbed areas on the site. So I just wanted to make clear that the purpose of this condition is to stabilize any area of the site that has been disturbed with construction activity.
But not vertical structure.
No.
I'm just, contractors will want to have precise enough language that they can respond with appropriate means and methods.
Is that definite enough?
Well, can you read the way it will?
I'm sorry, could you
If we
speak up?
accept,
I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
she's asking about, but she wants to make sure that the language that we choose here is gonna work for the general contractor.
So the condition says, no construction areas shall be left in an open, unstabilized condition longer than 60 days. Temporary stabilization shall be accomplished by hay bales, hay coverings, or matting. Final stabilization shall be accomplished by loaming and seeding exposed areas. So it wouldn't apply to an area that was covered by a structure, because that's not left in an open condition.
I think the term construction to different contractors means different things. So to a site excavator, yes, that's absolutely site work. But to a carpenter, a builder, construction could be a structure that's left open, like the framing's up, and then they might think that they're applying hay bales and covering and matting, which is not what you're trying to describe.
No, but
No.
I would not consider that to be being left in an open, unstabilized condition.
yeah.
When you've got a foundation and a structure, already commenced there, it's not unstabilized.
Would you consider something to the effect of site construction areas?
I don't have a problem with site construction areas or disturbed
okay?
areas or.
I think that would clarify.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you good with that? Are we good with it? Yeah. Okay, so we change it to site.
Can I look briefly at your section 313? So I would like this to be management agent, and this is supposed to be a capital I.
Yep, okay. Gina's pointing out in section E13, we need to just do something a little bit different with the identity of who is in charge of trash pickup and recycling.
Yep.
So it should say, I would propose that it say the applicant and/or the property manager with a capital P for property.
Management agent.
Sorry.
For
The
consistency.
management agent, okay, with a capital M for management and a capital A for agent,
Instead of property management?
instead
Yes.
of property manager.
So say
Just
that
the
one more time, I'm
management
sorry.
agents.
Management agent?
Management agent instead of property manager.
All right. And so all the HOA part was taken out that was in the
Right.
Yes.
original?
And in the second sentence, where it refers to the management plan, that's a defined term, so we want to make the M for management a capital M, and the P for plan a capital P.
Okay, hold on here.
Okay. In section E15, we had deleted language about trucking excess snow off the site, but we, Mr. Haverty is questioning that, and we agree that should be left in.
Okay.
Just leave it in?
Leave it in.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. The next change is in section I, and it's contained in section I-1 on page 16. And I have to tell you that this change is something that is completely beyond my expertise. So it has to do with a construction general permit that's a federal permit. Mr. Haverty has characterized this as an EPA construction general permit, and Ms. Loeffler has characterized this as the NPDES.
That's backwards, actually, yeah.
Backwards.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
There's a dispute about what is the proper
So
title for this.
I think I can resolve this
Right.
by just putting in language that says, to the extent required, the applicant shall provide. So if you're not required under the NIPIDS program to get that permit, then you won't have to give it to us. If you are required, then you do.
So you want NPDES still in there, not EPA,
Yeah,
but change the wording as well?
correct. So just to add, to the extent required.
Is that okay? That's okay.
And that goes after, where does that go?
Right at the beginning.
Oh. Required at beginning. And then use would you say NPDES?
Yeah, NPDES.
PDES.
Okay.
Is this related to that needs some certification, that the stormwater does not go into the sewer and into our treatment plant? Is that what we're talking about here?
Well, so the NPDES program requires anyone who is going to be disturbing more than an acre of land to comply with the general construction permit. So all it is you fill out an application, submit it to the lockbox, and you're all set. So it's not, but that includes the requirement for preparing a stormwater management pollution prevention plan.
Okay.
So to the extent it's required, they should be providing it to you. And if it's not required, then they don't have to provide it to you.
Okay.
And who determines it?
Ultimately, it's going to be their team that determines it, and they're going to be taking the risk if they're required to obtain it and don't.
If I may, for a moment, this started as a question from me on what that acronym stood for before it had gone to Berkshire Design Group for review. So I just want to call out that this was not a question of not wanting the requirement to be there. It was just, what is the NPDES?
Right.
That's all.
National Pollutant Discharge Elimination
System.
System. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I'd heard it in the context from our sewage treatment plant operator people. I'd heard the terms. I knew it had to do with that. And stormwater separation is
Right.
a
Yes.
very good thing to have.
Yep.
And required. So, okay.
Thank you.
So the stormwater pollution prevention plan, the SWIP, is required to be in the contractor's construction trailer.
Okay.
He's responsible for having that prepared. They usually hire us to do it, but it's up to them to have that in their trailer so that if an inspector comes, they can check to see if they're update on their training, whatever.
Excellent.
Okay, so that one's resolved?
Yes.
Okay.
And
One other very small typo.
yeah, this is something that Jen raised. So, I think there's only one or two other things. And that's in the waiver section of the permit. So on page 21, we had raised a question about later occurring or later developed residential uses, and how that might affect the permit that we hope you're going to issue tonight. And Paul was kind enough to add some language at the end of the waiver denial, not a waiver denial, but at the end of the language about the board's action on the waiver requested in number 11.
Yeah.
And the language he's added regarding residential uses being introduced at abutting properties later on, that's very helpful to us, and so we accept that change.
Okay.
And just to clarify, so first of all, I have some bad news for you. When you're done with this hearing process, it does not mean that you are done with this project.
Okay.
Any comprehensive permit applicant can come in even years and years later and request a modification.
Wow.
So that provision is set forth in 760 CMR 56.05 subsection 11. And that sets a process for how an applicant requests a modification. So what I've laid out here is the process where they would submit the request for modification, and it would automatically be determined by the board to be an insubstantial change. So what that means is you technically don't even need to meet. If after 15 days, the board takes no action, the modification is deemed to have been granted, or you could meet and just vote that it's an insubstantial change. Does not require a duly noticed public hearing, it's just an administrative action by the board. And the reason I wanted to put that out there like that is just to set forth a process in which, you know, the board can keep track and make sure that all of the waivers that may be necessary are actually, you know, written somewhere. That being said, I don't necessarily think that this additional language is necessary, because I think that if something happens after this project is constructed to take what would have been a conforming issue and make it non-conforming, it's protected as a pre-existing non-conforming use. But it's still better to have the language in there to make it clear and set forth the proper path to make sure it gets addressed.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just need a little more clarification of if sometime down the road, somebody wants a change of some sort,
Yep.
this automatically deems it as inconsequential,
Insubstantial,
insubstantial?
yes.
For number 11.
Just for this particular issue, not for anything that they want to come back for.
Okay, okay,
Just about the buffer
Yeah,
areas.
so the way the regulations work, if an applicant wants to modify any provision of a previously issued comprehensive permit, they have the right to request a modification. The board has to take action within 15 days to determine whether that modification is substantial or insubstantial.
okay,
If you determine it's insubstantial, it's deemed approved and you don't need to do anything else. If you make a determination that it is substantial, then you have to duly notice a public hearing within 30 days, move forward with that process, same as this process. At the end of that process, make your decision. The standard for whether or not you're required to grant the modification is, first, if it's insubstantial, you just are going to approve it. But if you're going to a full public hearing, the question then becomes does that change render the project uneconomic if you don't grant it? Or if it's already uneconomic, does it make it substantially more uneconomic to not grant that modification?
okay, so if someone comes and requests a modification, we would still meet as a board and look at whatever their request for a modification is.
So,
Otherwise, we'd have no chance to determine is this substantial or not.
but the way that this is drafted, if they're coming in just for this issue, just because an abutting property was subsequently developed and includes residential housing, you wouldn't need to actually come in because we've already discussed it as part
Okay.
of this process.
Okay.
That would automatically be an insubstantial change. You don't have to do anything.
All right, I'm.
They just need to provide the notification to the board that it has happened, get that 15-day clock running, and once it runs out, it's deemed approved.
Okay, I'm understanding it now.
So it only has to do with this number 11 with the
Correct.
buffer
Okay,
areas.
yes.
Correct.
But if there was something else, it would be different.
Then they'd have to follow the procedure
Okay.
and the regulations.
So
Thank-
what we want to do is take this part that's sort of in this dark, this other green color, like the teal, and add that at the end.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
One comment.
Peter?
Alyssa's last name does not have a capital R, and I'd like that to be correct.
Okay, let's do
Sorry.
that. That's okay. What section is that?
Section, it's procedural history, section 6.
What page are you on?
I
Page
think
2.
that's my mistake, okay? In section 6, where we describe who from RDI has appeared in front of you, I included Alyssa LaRose, and I mistakenly
Second page.
capitalized the R in LaRose. It's not capital, it's small case.
I guess it doesn't really matter where that is, that's okay.
It's on the second page.
Okay,
Anything else? That's it on our end, and if you have questions or things that you need to address to us, we're happy to talk about them.
I'd like some time to read over the latest copy,
okay.
like right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Compared
just-
to some original.
Just sit for a couple of minutes?
Sure,
and,
sure.
Holly reads over that stuff, that's fine. And were the things you had sticky notes on answered pretty much?
That's all the sticky notes are now over here.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
all had, thank you for addressing all of my original concerns. Appreciate it.
Well, and it's fine to take what time we
So
need.
we covered all of your sticky notes?
They're all here.
That's amazing.
I know.
Are you sure?
Yes. The HOA part and everything, I was like, I don't think I'm wrong here. But I was like, maybe I totally have looked at this wrong the whole time. And I was like, okay, I need to go back and look at all this. I don't need that.
A few minutes to review this now is just time well spent.
That's fine.
Appreciate your
We're here.
patience.
We'll wait. Talking to him tomorrow, actually, to talk about dates, but we had kind of penciled in February.
How's the baby?
Everybody's well, I think she's just tired.
Could I ask for, I jokingly say that we have thousands of people watching, and we wish there were, and this involves their tax money and their lives and their future of the town. And some people find it dry as dust, other people are very interested, which is great. Is there any, depending on how these permits go and a variety of other things that we're not even much involved with, is there a timeline that we could just let the public know this thing might come into completion in 2050 or what that might be?
Hopefully
I can
sooner
speak to
than
that.
that.
I'll speak to that, and I'll ask Christine Rogers to just chime in if I'm wrong on any of these dates. So right now, we've submitted a pre-application to the state's Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities Winter 2026 round. We're hoping to be invited in to the main funding round. We need to wait for that entity to invite us in, and they've been watching for a couple of things to see if there's progress on this development. This is one of those things. So if we're able to show that we may be invited in, those applications are due March 19th. So if we're able to get into this round and be awarded, we could potentially be looking at leasing up housing in early 2029, maybe late 2028. The funding process, the financial closing, we're looking at probably about a 14 to 16 month construction timeline, and then the lease up period altogether. We're looking at, I'd say, mid to late 2028 at the earliest. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's close enough, and I think people in Erving have been patient. We purchased this land somewhere around 30 years ago. What might we do with the land? You know, we might have a library, we might have senior housing, we might have whatever, and it's good on our part to see that forethought of people at that time is turning into something. And we've had committees and people working on struggling, trying to get something done. So another year or two is kind of a drop in the bucket. And we're glad that you're here doing it, truly.
Thank you. Thank you. We're happy to have seen this along as far as it has come, and I have great optimism about this funding round. My reason for giving that detail around the funding round dates right now is that this really only comes once a year. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's a second round that's considered a mini round. They take only a smaller batch of applicants for the type of funding we're looking for, but this really is a once a year opportunity. So we're really hoping that this will come together, and that decision is going to be made in the next, we understand, likely in the next week to 2 weeks.
Okay. Could I ask Paul your thoughts on how much time it would take to put together all these things in a good signable form, or do we vote on this go ahead and put these things in there and it'll be okay. What would you suggest the
I've already
process?
made all the changes we've discussed tonight.
Okay.
I will, when I get to Wi-Fi, I'll send it out to everybody. I'm presuming Verizon isn't still down. That was a gigantic pain in the neck today.
It is still.
It is it?
I think my phone is still on SOS.
Yeah.
Like,
My- My wife, who, her stubbornness, continues to use a Google phone rather than an iPhone, so I can't even text with her today because of this outage.
It seemed to me, it's a little bit off topic, but it seemed to me like it came back on for a while. Before I came here, I was in a different board of directors meeting, and my phone all of a sudden started going ding, 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 like things were coming through. And then I tried to make a call, it didn't work again. So we struggle with this stuff. But we're a long ways from 2 tin cans and a string. We're doing okay.
But yes, you can vote tonight. I will have the decision with all of the changes that we've discussed tonight sent tomorrow, and you guys can come in and sign whenever it's convenient.
Okay.
Would you like to connect to the senior center Wi-Fi?
Sure? Erving staff?
This is a time where if you're a radio announcer, they don't like dead airspace. They want you to be talking about something, your kids or the dogs or something or other. And I guess we may have a little bit of airtime here that's just sitting here, but saying I'm at a loss for words will make most people happy most of the time. So I tend to talk
It would
about
be
it.
nice right now so I can read.
I could put in a
Sorry.
plug for Mint Mobile. Ryan Reynolds got me up and running.
I'll be quiet and let Holly read. I'm sorry, Holly.
It's okay, I'm just trying to read all of this. So far, everything looks, I don't have any new questions. Yeah, all my questions were pretty much answered with my sticky notes, so. Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
I feel very good about this, thank you.
Are there any other questions or anybody else would like to say anything? If there's anybody who's in favor, anybody who's against, any comments at all? We just don't want anybody to be shut out of the process. I don't see any from anyone. So would it be appropriate to ask for a motion? Or is there a wording, a particular wording of a motion that we should ask for this?
Nope, just move to approve the project consistent with the draft decision as discussed.
Do they need to have a motion to close the hearing, or?
Yes, you would move to close the hearing first.
Okay. Do we see any reason to keep the hearing open longer for discuss anything else? No? Okay, and is there a motion, if, once we close the hearing, we will not be accepting further public comment on this decision? People may have comments, they can come talk to us anytime they want, I suppose, but for this purpose, the public comment would be closed. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
I'll second motion.
Any other discussion on that? None being seen, all in favor of closing the public hearing? Aye? That'd be
Aye.
Dennis Wanzy?
Yeah.
Holly Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
I don't
Great.
vote. I'm missing.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, and Dan Hammock, aye. So that's a roll call vote of aye. The public hearing is closed.
Right.
And now the vote to, would you say it again, Paul? Just so we get it right?
Vote to approve the comprehensive permit consistent with the decision as discussed at the board's meeting.
Okay. You got that?
I'm going to go back and watch the video afterwards and get it
Okay.
word for word.
All right, is there a motion to do that?
So moved.
In a second?
Second motion.
All right, any other discussion on that? I'll just say this has been a long process getting here. We still have process to go. This is a giant step forward. All in favor? Holly Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Dennis Swansea,
Aye.
and Dan Hammock, aye. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. We have other business. We have minutes to approve, possibly.
Yeah. In the original packet.
3 sets in your original, all this paperwork, yes. Your original package had 3 sets of them.
Thank you all for coming.
Yes, yeah,
For
yeah.
your service. This has been, thank you. This is great.
Thank you.
All right.
It's a pleasure doing business with people that are agreeable. It really is.
We try. You guys also have a nice, just behind you, you have the hearts that are all pink and red. And you're all in pink and red. It's stunning. It's a great look.
You know, we try to be seasonal.
You are. You're doing it.
Not really,
We all got
think
the
of
memo.
secrets, but the staff who design all this stuff think that way, and the BNC TV crew also look at arrangements, so it's appreciated.
Okay. Thank you.
We're glad we could be timely. All right. So I guess we should read these. Thank you, Paul.
Pleasure working with you all.
We appreciate
Yes.
everything you've done for us.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
luck.
I don't know that we'll see you again.
Well, if you get another one, feel free to request me.
Well, I
We
just
will.
want
Thank you
to
so much.
shake your hand and say thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Paul. Safe travels.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I read all of these. I make a motion that we accept the minutes of Wednesday, October 29th as written.
Second motion.
All right.
I can do that,
I
right?
know.
Yes.
Any discussion about that? You all set with that, Dennis?
I'm all set with that.
All in favor, aye?
Aye. Let's see if I can find the,
December 17th.
yeah. I make a motion that we accept the minutes of December 17th as written.
Second.
Any other discussion on that?
Yeah.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
I don't think I should do the next one, being that I wrote them.
Okay, well, I would move we accept the minutes of December 29th.
I'll second the motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, okay. I think we've complied with that. Let's see, under other business, looks blank to me.
You can make a motion to close the meeting.
I make a motion, we close the meeting. I'll second the motion.
All right, and that, usually that does not invoke a lot of discussion. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all very much.
Yeah.
It's been a few extra meetings that I didn't particularly anticipate, but it's good that we had a thorough discussion of this. People of Erving deserve that, and we're glad to do it for them. And thank you for your participation and your help. Truly.
I think bringing Paul in was a really fantastic.
I think without
Choice.
without a consultant here, we would have been kind of wondering.